Ruptured Birth. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, guys, and let everybody know what you guys do.
Shane Saw Travolta, guitars and booze.
I'm Mary Suvedino and I play bass.
Cody Bradshaw on the drums.
I'm James and I'm vocals.
What would you guys describe yourselves as? Like, if someone has never heard of you guys before, how would you describe yourselves?
Weird.
Say like a slower, less technical version of Origin. Except I'm not John Langstroth. I'm James nowhere near close. It's
Yeah, James Lee.
James Lee.
It's basically just that sci-fi grind element, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, we got the science fiction lyrics and kind of imagery which is like that death grind sound, but we pull from basically everywhere, like everywhere from just old death metal to grindcore to black metal to, like, you know what I mean? It's just a big mix.
There's really not like a specific thing. It's just
we're basically just doing what we're doing. And
do you typically like come up with a riff and then is that how you guys write a song, or are you having some lyrics and throw it down? What's your process?
Well, it's just like there are times like sorry, can I continue talking?
Yeah, give her. Give her, brother.
It's basically like there have been like most of the songs from the EP like he wrote, but like when it's coming to a lot of the stuff that we're doing for like the newer stuff, like I throw my suggestions in there, like, and the rest of them can too
basically what it is because in death metal, guitar is kind of like the main, kind of like vehicle for the riffs. Sure. It's a lot of it is riffs. So myself, I write alone. I can't write in front of people. I get like kind of like almost like fright, from it, like whatever.
Right, fright.
Yeah. And
trademarked.
So basically, I write like these full like songs, and it's either just from me, just by myself, or if James has lyrics and they inspire me, or he has a song title. Like, we wrote one song where he just had this awesome song title, and I was just like, fuck, you know what I mean? This is great. Like,
turned into like a
like right away, I just
9-minute doom song.
Yeah, like I just heard the whole thing just off the one title, and I just wrote the whole thing in one fell swoop. So basically, I demo everything on Guitar Pro. I do the drums, the bass, guitar, and then I show it to these guys, and they put their flavor on. So Cody will totally rewrite the drums.
Shane's the main like producer of the tracks that we play, but the main writer. But he'll give me the Guitar Pro and he'll give me like the template of the drums. Yeah. And I just branch out from there.
Yeah.
So, or even if
just to give you a basic idea and then
yeah.
And then sometimes they'll just strip the entire song and just write my own stuff.
Even with the song that you're gonna be recording there, that we're gonna be jamming, like he came up with this crazy rolling for the entire beginning, and that was just from like Shane just decided to play it one time, and I was like, hold on, I need to try this, and he just starts going like, oh, fucking
so
that shit.
You know what I mean? That's how it is.
But in the beginning when it was written, it was just like 2 3/4 minutes of just straight gravity blasting. So I'm like, this is stupid. Like, we are not Origin, and I'm not John Langstroth.
So what would you guys say, like, individually, and maybe we'll just go along with everybody, what are your influences, like, from bands, and not even bands, like, just things you like? Obviously there's a sci-fi vibe, right? So I'm guessing there's some of that, but
that's it.
Vocally, like when I first started doing vocals, I was around the age of 13, and like it was around the time that I first started getting into death metal, and I thought like this shit was really cool. And when I first started doing vocals, I tried doing the thrash shit, and it was absolutely terrible. So I was like, okay, I have a bass voice. Can't really do like those like Tom Araya, like Angel of Death kind of screaming. So I'm just gonna do really low vocals. So I started practicing to like early Cannibal Corpse, and then like with my progress, I started like getting like when I got lower, I listened to the next album, then to the next album, and then I ended up basically finding my niche when I started listening to this band called Mortician, and like they're kind of like you just think that the dude's vocals is like extra bass, so I got that kind of vibe. Like a lot of people, like whenever I talk to them, they're just like, like a lot of people can't really hear what you're saying when you do the really low stuff. I was like, yeah, because I made it that way. I made it to the point where it was like, it's not doing like the kind of squealy kind of stuff when it's that guttural, but it's just so guttural that's like just straightforward like guttural stuff that it's to the point where you just can't, like, it's just like extra bass,
Right.
you know?
So almost using it like as a rhythm instrument in a way.
Exactly.
Cool.
Exactly. And then lyrically, like a lot of the stuff that like you said, like it's a lot of science fiction stuff. A couple of the songs that I'm writing lyrics for now are not so much like really based on sci-fi, because like I don't want the science fiction thing to get too stagnant where like people are like, okay, well, like every album's gonna be like that. 'Cause, yeah, it's just, I'm just like really like influenced by like a lot of the stuff that like Ridley Scott did with like Alien and Blade Runner, and then like a lot of what's his name, John Carpenter's movies and all that kind of stuff. Like all those people who made like these crazy science fiction films, and it's just like, and it's weird. Like I don't like, it makes me, I'm just like, what? People don't write about this shit. Like this shit's fucking metal as hell. Like,
It's true.
and
True,
so.
like alien bursting out of someone's chest. Like,
Oh yeah, that's actually
How is
where
that
that's
not
actually
super
where
metal?
Ruptured Birth comes from, was like the chest burster.
Yes.
Cause like out of the entire Alien movie, like I've watched the movie so many fucking times, like I could start to speak when like the dialogue's going on, but like it was always the scene when like John Hurt starts to like go like nuts, and just like the first like crack out, I was just like, man, that is some crazy ass shit. Like, and it's like they didn't intend it to be that gory, but
I didn't actually start drumming until about 2007. Well, in grade 7. I didn't know much about the instrument, and my music teacher at the time had an audition for the school band, and I'm like, oh yeah, this looks pretty cool. So I ended up auditioning and ended up getting into it. So I never actually like played metal. I listened to it a lot. Like my first metal band would have been the first song I listened to was "Fucked with a Knife" by Cannibal Corpse.
Okay.
And then just like, cause like LimeWire, you type in a band and then it gives you also like suggestions.
Yeah.
So while I was downloading Cannibal Corpse, Slayer, Seasons of the Abyss ended up coming on. So I mean, yeah, I was listening to metal for that long up until, well, I mean, I always have, but to actually apply for drumming, it was always like hard rock. I was doing like Helix and Deep Purple stuff, and just kind of kept it simple. But like from grade 7 up until grade 12, it was all like did all my music classes all 4 years in high school. But I didn't actually apply metal in a sense until I graduated. Well, give it about like grade 11 or 12. And I was listening to like Black Dahlia Murder, Job for a Cowboy, but also like Severe Torture, like just to name some of the underground bands.
Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet Boys.
Hey, now I don't know if you ever seen my band.
Yeah, no, I would like listen to the song, and I would try to kind of play by ear, and right around the time when I was actually playing in bands, I was listening to like a lot of Suicide Silence, Whitechapel, Chelsea Grin, and it was too basic for me.
Sure.
So then I had to step it up just a little bit more. So that's when the Faceless, Black Dahlia Murder, Severe Torture, Mortician, and right around the time where I met James in 2007, then he started getting me into bands like Immortal,
Origin.
yeah, Origin,
Get everyone into that band. Like, just listen to that band.
Marduk, Dark Funeral, Dark Fortress, and yeah, so coming to about just a couple of months ago, I had just left a band, and he had me start writing some music for Ruptured. It wasn't called Ruptured Birth. It was Rotten Fuck at the time.
Yeah, we were trying to do like a crusty,
Like Young and in the
Kinda
Way,
thing.
kind of just a little bit
like super,
angsty.
yeah, pretty much, just like fuck everything kind of.
So then when that
Yeah.
didn't, it didn't really go as planned. So we just kind of like set the project aside, and hopefully something like popped up. And then Shane started posting videos on the Subway Metal page of him playing guitar. So originally he joined before the Black Gates, and I guess like one thing led to another. He's like, "Hey man, what should like come join like Rotten Fuck?"
Yeah, and we're just like,
And it was just from there. So like for the influences for this band, I try to do as much like as much death metal, but keep it kind of, how do I say that? Not even explain it. Like kind of death metal, kind of black metal, like mixing Origin with Severe Torture and Called Decapitation.
Actually, my story doesn't go back too far. Like I just started playing bass about not even 2 years ago for Archlong, when a couple of my buddies decided to make the band, and then they needed a bassist, so I was just like, okay, I'll take out bass. And then like I've always like listened to Metallica, like Pantera, Lamb of God, Cannibal Corpse, like just like yeah, like everybody's like go to like Walmart metal type thing.
Sure.
And yeah, and, started playing with them like right away, and yeah, just bought a cheapo bass, picked it up, and started playing. And then about, I guess it was like a year later, like I get a message from Shane saying that like they needed a bassist for Ruptured Birth. So I was just like, fuck yeah, I'll check it out.
Cool.
And I came over right away. Like I felt good vibes off it. It was just like yeah, I can see myself playing in this band for sure. So and yeah, pretty much the way it works with that is like Shane will write a song and he'll write the bass out for it too. But like any like changes I want to make, it's all cool. And like yeah, so it's going along pretty good that way. Like yeah.
Cool.
One thing about Airman is he uses his fingers, dude, and that's a hard thing to find in death
listen
metal.
to this, ladies.
Yeah.
Aaron's single.
I've been playing since I was 15, so half my life I've been playing guitar. I had actually a thrash metal / like kind of classic metal band with my old man. It was my last name. It was called Skullrun. And we did the whole like kind of bar circuit and blah blah blah. Opened up for some good bands like April Wine, Honeymoon Suite, stuff like that. And so my early influences were like GNR and like Metallica, Megadeth, Motorhead, Ozzy stuff, Randy Rhoads stuff. So that's where my whole, like lead style came from, was guys like Van Halen and Randy Rhoads. Probably around 17, like when I started gigging, then I started hearing, more about like death metal and stuff like that. Like I remember just going into Tony's Records on Wheels and seeing like Tomb of the Mutilated, like Cannibal Corpse, the album cover, and I was just like, fuck, what the hell is this shit, you know what I mean? Like, cause before that it was more like, on the extreme metal side, it was more like Manson and Nine Inch Nails that I was listening to, like more industrial, like stuff like that. Yeah, and Korn and stuff like that. And yeah, so basically I did the whole like thrash metal type, shredding type stuff for basically because I couldn't find really anyone else to play like death metal and black metal with. There was only a couple bands at that time, like the early 2000s. There was Fleshcraft and like Beyond Within, and that was basically it. And those guys were solidified, so you couldn't get in there. So I just kind of was like, well, I'll just do the whole like thrash type scene or whatever. So I did that for a good 8 or 9 years. And then I got out of it and worked to get a house, blah, blah, I got married, blah, blah. And then after a couple of years, I was like, well, I miss playing, I want to get back into it. So I went on Subway Metal, and I was looking for some people, and there wasn't really anything. So I said to my wife or whatever, I just said, I'm going to make a video of me, doing some stuff or whatever, and see if anyone, hits it or whatever.
Sure.
And I got a ton of responses on it. And I ended up joining James's band at the time, when it was still going, called Before the Black Gates, and I jammed with them for probably about 4 or 5 months. We did a gig, blah blah blah, and then that band was kind of folding as I joined, so you know what I mean. That was short lived, and just one night sitting here drinking, watching, listening to YouTube videos, metal videos and stuff, and James had told me about this project that him and Cody had, Ruptured Birth, and one thing led to another, and we started writing, blah blah blah. Got the team together, and so basically influences for this band for me writing are me and James right away said Origin. Just a lot of slammy stuff like Devourment. For myself, Vulvectomy, I always liked them.
So, tell me about your craziest band moment. What happened?
Strippers, belts, Cody's butt,
And $5.
and $5.
So $5 can buy you whipping from 2 strippers at the downtown strip club.
Yeah.
Yeah, my ass was bruised for a week and a half. And like we had a practice. What day of the week was that? We had a practice the next day.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, and I couldn't sit. I'm just like, guys, I can do this for like half an hour, and then I have to go home. Yeah.
Choco Milk. She's the headliner. She's the best.
Mom, if you're watching this, it only happened once.
So personally, what do you guys feel, I guess, about like the local music scene? You guys,
It's
stuff,
definitely picked up.
Yeah.
And
the past while.
and it's not so much like all ages shows. Like Mark has been hammering down shows left and
But
right,
that
and
man-
it's
That man barely ever sleeps, man. He's
Yeah.
like fucking. He works like 14
Mark-
hours a day.
Mark
like,
puts his blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
There you go.
Like I've only been in the scene here for 2 years, and like I've even noticed improvements. Like started off with like really small venues, and then now it's like even like Little Montreal last time we played there, and that it was packed. Like and that's within the 2 years that I've been in the metal scene here.
No, this year's amazing. You got all the old classic metal bands coming back. Fleshcraft, Beyond Within's even coming back this year. Bands like that, and then you got the new bands like us, Fractal Generator. Behind These Eyes is another one. It's just the mix of old and new coming back. Like it's just coming together. Like it's a force right now. And the Sudbury Metal Fest in October that Mark's doing.
That's all it's gonna be.
Honestly, like I'm not gonna say anything, but like I'm telling you right now, this Metal Fest is gonna be the Metal Fest to end all Metal Fest. You know what I mean? Like the lineup is unreal.
Yeah, what's going on with you guys in the future? So like, you guys got shows coming up? You have
a show on,
recording? Or?
We have a show on Friday, like this coming Friday,
June 12th.
with Depths of Hatred. We have 2 shows later on the 26th and the 27th.
Yeah.
The first one is going to be in Ottawa with this band called Diamen, who the main songwriter in that band was actually in the first death metal band in Sudbury.
Okay. There you go.
And then I think after that, the next day we're going to be playing Toronto at the Cage.
The Cage. Yeah.
And then after that, in July, we have a show. Like, we're just waiting to hear, the promoter's just waiting to hear confirmation from one of the people from Fractal, but we have a show in Sault Ste. Marie, and then we're going to be having a show at the new venue that Mark Howard is making, just on where the
Navy League
Hall is.
It's in the basement.
Cool.
Yeah.
So basically, we're all the metalheads in Sudbury are getting together for free, all free labor. Everyone's helping out and just renovating it and getting it up and coming. But that's hopefully. I think it's July 24th. I want to say. I think.
After that, it's like we have Metal Fest, or
August.
August 28th. We have Blastomycosis. Then
22nd.
Metal
Is
Fest.
that local?
Yeah, it is. It's gonna be at the Little Montreal,
Okay.
and then
Blastomycosis, Ruptured Birth, and Bloodless Child.
yeah, and then after that it's Metal Feet. Oh, there might be a show that shouldn't be announced yet that might be happening in September, but that's just
People can stay updated on
Yeah.
like Facebook page.
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff like that, right? So.
Facebook, Instagram.
but
We're definitely not quiet.
and then Metal Fest, and then after that we're probably gonna take a little break from doing the amount of shows that we've been doing to concentrate on finishing the finishing the album,
Okay.
so
so that we can get that done and ready for the new year.
So anything else you guys want to throw out there for anybody that's watching the video?
Well, shout out Mark Howitt, Archaic North Entertainment, Golden Spiral Productions. The guys, helped us out so much, getting us the out of town shows, Ottawa, Toronto.
You bust your ass, and we
Yeah.
love you for it.
That guy is Subry Metal. Darren Favett, Sardonic Moon,
Soundhouse.
Soundhouse Studios, for doing the EP.
But yeah,
Basically all of Subry Metal, anyone that's come to our shows, bought the EP,
yeah,
liked our
we're
vids.
really appreciative of how much support we've been getting from a lot of people, because when we were initially doing this, we were just we knew that we would have a decent following, but we didn't know that it was gonna explode how it is.
Right.
We thought that we were gonna have the long kind of process of working stuff up through social media, because it's we're not necessarily playing music that a lot of people would, especially in Sudbury with a lot of the hardcore, with how big the hardcore scene is, how our response was a lot better than how we thought it was gonna be.
Sure.
So we were just really appreciative of how a lot of people are yeah man, this is actually really fucking awesome. I wouldn't really
Yeah.
listen to this kind of music all the time, but what you're doing is really awesome.
All egos aside, we're not saying we're the best band in Sudbury.
No.
We're definitely not saying we're the best band ever, but we definitely bust our ass to try to get as much material and just to, I don't know, just try to do our
It's
best.
just
Trying to do
it's all about
something
it's all
different.
about the scene. The metal scene is we just want to help Sudbury Metal and just you know what I mean. Just
We're
it's
no-
all about supporting everyone. If everyone goes to shows, then we all play to people and we all sell albums. And then hopefully some of us will get to branch out and tour and stuff. And that's what we're all shooting for. So
We're not forefronting any genre. We're just doing our own thing and busting our
Had to bring
asses.
that up, didn't you?
Alright, well, thanks a lot guys, really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And, yeah, stay tuned for more Ruptured Birth.